Today in the Anthony Kitchen, we're gonna be whipping up a Texas fast food staple at home. We are just getting right into it. We are making steak fingers. This is one of my girls' all-time favorite dinner recipes. We're starting off with some tenderized cube steaks, and what I'm doing is I'm just cutting them into strips. You can really make the strips as big or as small as you like. As always, when you're cutting into meat, you want to try to find the direction of the grain and then cut against it, and that will make for a more tender bite. Once you've got your cube steaks all cut into strips, I'm going to show you how we'll set up the dredging station, and I have got the crispiest, crunchiest steak finger batter in store for you. Anytime you're working with a dredging station, you're gonna need 3 shallow trays, bowls, dishes, whatever you can get your hands on will probably do the trick just fine. The first tray is gonna be flour. So we'll add 1 cup of flour to tray 1, and then I'm actually gonna hop over to tray 3 and add another cup of flour over there. Now, a lot of times with the dredging station, people will leave the first tray of flour just plain flour. I don't really see why we wouldn't add flavor into every single layer. So I'm gonna add a teaspoon of salt to tray 1, and then we'll add a teaspoon and a half of salt to tray 3. Now for the pepper, we'll put a half teaspoon down in 1 and a teaspoon down in 3. Now I know tray 2 is looking pretty sad to y'all right now, but trust me, there is a method to this madness. We're gonna finish off tray 3 by adding in some saltine crackers. Saltine crackers are my trick to getting a crazy crunchy crust on steak fingers and chicken fried steak. And as soon as we start frying these steak fingers up, you are going to see exactly what I'm talking about. So that's all the dry, and now we can go on to the wet. So you're gonna have 2 large eggs, crack them and add them right into the tray. We'll give them a head start with a little whisk. Now the reason I do my dry trays first is so that I only have to dirty up 1 fork, and then we'll just add some milk, whisk that in. Now it's time to batter them up. So I'm just gonna start by adding a few strips here. I'll probably do 3 at a time. They're just going into tray 1 and getting a nice even coating of flour. Shake off the excess. I'm gonna try this wet hand, dry hand thing, but inevitably I always forget and I will end up with gloopy, dredgy hands, and that is okay. I'm gonna get a really good coating of this flour cracker mixture here. Then I'll just transfer them over to my tray, and these are ready for frying. It's really a situation. I've got to figure this dry, wet thing out. All right, y'all, it is time to take these over to that oil that's been heating up on the stovetop. Don't just drop them right in. We need to test the oil before we add the steak fingers. If that oil is too hot, your steak fingers are gonna burn before they cook through. If the oil's not hot enough, you're not gonna get that crispy, crunchy coating on there. You want your oil to be right there in between 350 and 375 degrees. There are a couple ways that you can go about judging this, and I'm gonna show you right now. The first and most accurate way to judge the temperature of your oil is with a thermometer. Another way you can judge the temperature of your oil is with a pinch of flour. If the flour sizzles up beautifully, you're good to go. If it smokes, the oil's too hot. If it does nothing, the oil is too cold. Let's get to frying some steak fingers. All right, y'all, now take care when you're adding your steak fingers not to overcrowd the pan. I know it's tempting, but if you add too much to the pan at once, you're gonna lower the temperature of your oil, and then your steak fingers won't cook through evenly. After your steak fingers have been in the pan for just a few minutes, we're gonna turn them and give them a few more minutes on the other side. Just take out the steak fingers, pop them onto a paper towel lined dish. All right, y'all, now that is a wrap when it comes to making steak fingers at home. You can see that this breading is so crispy and perfectly golden. So I'm just gonna leave y'all with a couple more tips and maybe a serving suggestion. Take care when you are taking your steak fingers out of the oil not to stack them one on top of the other, because what's gonna happen is condensation is gonna start to build underneath. Condensation equals water, water equals a soggy crust, and we want a good, crispy, crunchy crust. My favorite way to serve these is with a good old-fashioned country gravy for dipping. We have made that on this YouTube channel. I'll link to it below, as well as the written recipe for these steak fingers. In addition to that, nobody's gonna be mad if you wanna throw on a little heaping pile of mashed potatoes, and to balance it out, maybe some broccoli or green beans. So that's it for today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to click that bell, subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date for more Texas recipes just like this one. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.